This is The Locker Room on News 3.
Welcome into our award-winning Locker Room show sponsored by your Hampton Roads Chevy dealers. It has been a long while, but for the first time since 2019, we have a fall high school football season. And not only are teams back to playing their normal time of the year, but we've also got a full season, unlike the shortened slate that we saw in the spring. Now, with the 2021 season comes a lot of change for our area teams. All across Hampton Roads, coaches had retired during the pandemic, paving the way for many new head coaches, including the two bench bosses in our first matchup of the night. First quarter, Ocean Lake's quarterback Landon Spell finds Riley McIntosh downfield, and he's going to weave through the secondary to open up the scoring. Dolphins jump ahead 7-0. Now, Ocean Lakes, they're going to try to score again in the second quarter, but the Falcons defense comes in clutch with a blocked kick that is recovered by Duncan Wilson, and he's going to get the ball back into the Cox offense's hands. It's just the Dolphins, though, who get points on the board tonight. This play, it's Jacarius Robertson who scores on the punt return, and Ocean Lakes shuts out Cox 27-0. Now, first-year Sun Devils head coach Marcus Johnson-Williams begins his Salem tenure with a game against his former team, Lansdowne, tonight. Salem leads 7-0 in the third quarter when running back Kemar Carter-Gatlin takes the handoff. With the ball, it's going to be stripped by Lansdowne's Zyron Bacot for a turnover. Salem's defense, they do get the job done, though, and on their next possession, Jahiel Mitchell punches it in from the 2, and the Sun Devils hang on to win 13-0. The defending state champ Oscar Smith Tigers begin their title defense today at Deep Creek. Hornets quarterback Anthony Barnes, he's going to show off his wheels a lot in the first half drive to pick up multiple first downs, and he'll lead the Hornets to a field goal for their only points of the game. Meanwhile, the Tigers offense is unstoppable tonight. Second quarter, Ethan Vasco has plenty of time before he connects there with Xavier Lewis, and he'll be in for a touchdown, giving the Tigers a 28-3 lead early on in just this second quarter. Oscar Smith, they make a statement in game one, winning 49-3. Sticking with the Beach District, Green Run hosts Tallwood tonight. Tallwood makes some big plays on enemy turf late in the first quarter. QB Thomas Natania scrambles away from defenders, and he'll find Derek Summers Jr. downfield for a nice gain. But it's the Green Run offense that steals the show tonight. This is Christian Parham with the reception. He's going to sneak past the defender and take it into the end zone. Green Run keeps its foot on the gas all night long and comes up with a 56-7 win. And finally, we're going to have a cross-district matchup between Grassfield and Norview here in Norfolk. Norview QB Shaden Deloach hands it off to Pershawn Harris, who finds a hole and blows past the Grizzlies defense to take it into the end zone. This is going to extend the Pilots' lead to 14-0 late in the third quarter, and that score remains the same from there on out. Norview wins it in a shutout, 14-0. Now we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned because coming up in our award-winning Locker Room show, we share with you the huge news that the Norfolk Admirals make today. That's coming up next. Welcome back into our award-winning Locker Room show sponsored by your Hampton Roads Chevy dealers. Today, the Norfolk Admirals announced that they have signed an affiliation agreement with the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes. This means that the Admirals will be part of the developmental program for the organization. The Hurricanes, they are based out of Raleigh, which is just less than 3 hours from Norfolk. So geographically, it is the closest city to Norfolk that has an NHL team. The new partnership marks the 7th time the Admirals have been affiliated with an NHL program.
I just gleam with pride to share the journey that this organization has had and to be tied to an organization like Carolina Hurricanes. And we're really excited about sharing those players, part of the Carolina Hurricanes journey through Norfolk scope on our ice as part of the Admirals organization.
So he mentions that the Admirals are certainly excited about sharing players with the Canes, but honestly, I think there's one guy who is even more excited than the team, and that is News 3's very own anchor Blaine Stewart. You don't have to look far on social media to find that he is one of Carolina's biggest fans, and you're certainly going to see him at the Scope when the team returns on October 22nd. Now we're going to take another quick break, but coming back, we've got more on the Washington football team, and we also hear from their former quarterback who throws some shade at them. That's next in our award-winning Locker Room show. Welcome back into our award-winning Locker Room show sponsored by your Hampton Roads Chevy dealers. This time a year ago, Dwayne Haskins was still quarterback of the Washington football team. Now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he does continue to make some news that concerns Washington. This week he shared what the game preparation process has been like with the Steelers. He praises Hampton native and Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin, but also seems to throw some shade at the Washington coaching staff. Take a listen.
I think Coach Tomlin does a great job as far as giving you a scouting report of who you're playing that week. I never really had that before. And we get that all before we even come into practice that week. So that's pretty cool to be able to have a great jump start as far as what you're looking at and what you're seeing.
So you just heard him mention that a good scouting report is something that he has never had before. So naturally, on social media, Washington fans certainly caught some wind of that shade he had for his former Washington coaches. But you know what? Head coach Ron Rivera and company certainly are not concerned about the comments because they've got 3 quality guys competing for the starting QB spot. That is Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke, and Kyle Allen. Although Rivera is still playing coy when it comes to naming a starter.
There'll be a proper moment when I sit down and talk about the guys that are going to start for this team. But that'll be a moment for us, for the team. I think that's something that I need to tell everybody as opposed to leaking out.
We will see the Washington football team play in its final preseason game tomorrow. It's airing live right here on News 3, and Washington is looking to break the Baltimore Ravens' 19 games in a row preseason winning streak. So we'll see if they can do that tomorrow right here on News 3.